Welcome to Nationwide on NTA. I'm Ruth Aguela. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website nta.ng/live and on YouTube channel NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page NTA Network News, Twitter at NTA News Now, and on Instagram NTA Network for updates. A bid by the Association of Specialist Medical Doctors and the academics to have the Minister of Finance committed to prison for contempt has suffered a setback. Olabode Arewa reports that this was part of proceedings at the National Industrial Court, Abuja Division, this Monday.
I'm very sure and I'm very confident about that. Well, in a position like this, when a defendant says, a party says not served of any process, the court, based on the issue of fair hearing, the court will not go on. And that was what happened up to today. So what the court did in essence was to give them that audience. They said, okay, you claim you are not served, we are not going to hear the application.
To Legislative Affairs, the National Assembly says its instrument of oversight in the 2022 fiscal year will be rigid on revenue generation by ministries, departments and agencies of government. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, stated this at an interactive session between the Senate and heads of revenue generating agencies. We'll bring you the report in the course of the bulletin. Multiple taxation as well as legislative and bureaucratic bottlenecks must be eliminated towards creating a sustainable and attractive environment for ease of doing business in Nigeria. Guest on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria, who gave this position, also advocated homegrown parameters for praising progress made on ease of doing business in Nigeria. Let's hear more from Alika Okpanachi-Aroa.
Special advisor to the president on the ease of doing business, Jumoke Oduwole, outlined various measures put in place by the present administration that have ensured Nigerians' progress on the Global Ease of Doing Business Index in the last 6 years.
We try to get government agencies to work with each other and to focus on the people issues, the process issues, and infrastructure. Of course, the hard infrastructure challenges are up to the honorable ministers, Minister of Power, Minister of Works, Minister of Digital Economy and Communication. These are their mandates.
Other guests, however, harped on the need for policy cohesion among the three tiers of government for the gains not to be eroded.
I want to say that efficiency is key. And productivity can only increase if there's efficiency. And efficiency comes where there is cost of doing business is very low. Technology is key.
And let us remember that governance and government is very, very important in terms of what we are talking about. So that means that the respective states must be up to it as far as their respective institution in terms of development and children.
Businesses are frustrated because litigations, in fact, settlement of disputes are there for years unsettled, or even issues that ought to have been settled that are not criminal in nature are criminalized by the police, and therefore the tendency for people to get justice is not there.
There's still bureaucratic bottleneck. Taxation is still an issue. But yet, because we are Nigerians, because this system is for all of us, there is need to have a bit of a clearinghouse such that, agencies such as the public can succeed and be able to, to deliver the goods and services for which they were created.
It was agreed that the private sector should keep putting pressure on the government until ease of doing business in the country becomes enviable. In Abuja, Alika Okpanachi-Aroa.
In implementing its mandate, the Federal Ministry of Environment will be focusing on key priority areas in 2022, including the Ogoni cleanup exercise, climate change response, afforestation, waste management, circular economy, pollution control and wildlife conservation. Onenge Fineface will tell us about it.
Climate change is still impacting the world, with extreme weather conditions taking a toll on the people and their livelihoods. Guided by policies and action plans, Nigeria is prepared to mitigate climate change adapt to its impact, and build the resilience of people using the presidency of the Pan-African Agency of the Great Green Wall as pedestal for action. The Nigeria Circular Economy Program will be giving more vigor for safe management of plastic waste in the country, while the Ministry of Environment will implement programs and projects aimed at preventing and controlling land degradation arising from flooding, coastal, riverbank, and inland soil erosion.
But the most critical step that we have taken in our role in climate change mitigation is the realization of the Climate Change Act in November 2021. The Act provides for the establishment of the National Council on Climate Change, which will have the powers of policymaking and decisions on all matters related to climate change in Nigeria.
In line with UNEP recommendations on Ogoni land cleanup, 14 new water projects to cover more communities in Ogoni land are undergoing procurement processes, while bidding is in progress for additional 37 hydrocarbon impacted sites.
Sensitization campaigns against illegal wildlife are being carried out. All this is for us to protect, restore, and sustainably manage Nigeria's ecosystems. The Federal Ministry of Environment will continue.
The minister says protecting, restoring, and sustainably managing Nigeria's ecosystems along the priority areas could provide more than a third of the nation's climate change mitigation solutions. Onengiye Fine Face, NTA News.
And more on the environment, Nigerian women are being mobilized to take action against climate change. This is following the formal launch of Clean and Green Nigeria campaign in Abuja. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim gives us details now.
Women are said to be the most affected by climate change, and so the Nigerian woman is being sensitized through the Clean and Green Nigerian campaign to take action against climate change.
It therefore goes without saying that the health of our planet, our health, well-being, and by implication, our future are all dependent on the environment. Don't encourage the purchase of the firewood. So it will go a long way to discourage those cutting the wood to ensure that we keep our environments clean and free.
The women and children are not only the most vulnerable to climate change, but they can also become efficient actors or agents of change in relation to both mitigation and adaptation.
Hashtag One Woman, One Tree and One Child, One Tree project is an initiative to encourage women and children to plant trees toward the realization of the National Carbon Emission Reduction Plan by the year 2030.
It has therefore become more urgent than it has ever been to build sustainable partnerships to address this obvious threat to our women's existence and survival, which is the reason for the emergence of this organization.
And for a safe and clean environment, the innocent ones have this message for you.
1. Let's clean our waterways. 2. Let's keep our environment clean. 3. Let's reduce deforestation.
Salwa Khalil, NTA News.
You can follow this news live on our website nta.ng/live and on YouTube channel NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page NTA Network News, on Twitter at NTA News Now, and Instagram NTA Network. We're heading to Lagos right away to join Kende. She's bringing the next set of reports for us.
Hello Ruth, glad to have you join us in Lagos. Construction work at the Lekki Deep Sea Port is progressing rapidly and presently put at 80% completion. More gratifying is the fact that the promoters of the project are proposing the fourth quarter of 2022 to test run operational readiness. Marco Lale reports.
These structures and infrastructure are the imprints of the new phase of port operations in Nigeria. A game changer projected to increase Nigeria's 20-foot equivalent unit TEU capacity to over 2.5 million per annum. Here, the entire 90 hectares of land is simultaneously under construction, a development showing commitment to prompt delivery. Out of the 20 buildings mapped out for operational and supporting services, 18 are already at advanced stage, while the pre-gates and 3 substations for electrification are already being constructed.
In terms of our building, with the container area, we want a situation where everything can be synergized in terms of having a full automation.
At the waterfront, the quay wall is already taking shape, while dredging and all the construction at the marine side are at over 80% completion. There is optimism that the project will be ready before the September delivery deadline.
The equipment is a separate package of procurement that we have already done. Within a couple of weeks, they will be put on a ship, erected and all. They'll come and sail here and be parked in front of the quay wall, so the equipment will get on the quay wall.
While the Lekki Deep Sea Port is special is that it has a draft of 16.5 meters and turning cycle of 600 meters.
The capacity of phase 1 is 1.2 million. Basically, that is equivalent to the entire capacity in Lagos today. Phase 2 will take it to 2.7 million, which will actually exceed the entire capacity for the Nigerian port today.
While commending the Minister of Transportation for his timely intervention, which led to the commencement of the project in 2018, the acting managing director of the Nigerian Ports Authority says the Lekki Deep Sea Port identifies with the goal of changing the spectrum of port administration and increasing the options for cargo destination in Nigeria.
Lekki will also be able to take in more containers than some of the terminal operators we have. There will be more efficiency. When you digitalize system, it means that you have reduced human interference, human error, and it is likely to take businesses from some of the ports that we have here in Nigeria.
The Lekki Deep Sea Port, when completed, will not only reduce constraint on existing ones, but lay the foundation for the automation of processes in Nigerian ports. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NT News.
Enhancing the wealth of personnel and their families by developing their capacity for economic activities is a veritable platform of making them contribute to national development in more ways than one. The Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association National President Salamatu Yahya stated this when she inaugurated the fish and poultry farm at the Ojo Barracks in Lagos.
The farms, established in conjunction with the Lagos State Coordinator of the World Bank, Appeals project is to provide affordable and hygienic protein to the inhabitants of the barracks and surrounding communities. The farms is also to boost income and increase employment opportunities. Now, one national president, Salamatu Yahya, described the project as timely, as it would assist personnel's wives to be self-reliant and in return be a support system to their husbands.
NAWA has gone beyond just providing humanitarian services. With the legacies that our predecessors have left behind, it means you must have administrative skills, you must have business skills, you must have also human resource management skills. And since coming on board, we have had a series of leadership workshop for members, as well as skills acquisition training for members. Right now, we're even partnering with SMIDAN to ensure that in terms of entrepreneurial skills, members get the best.
The NAWA president is expected to carry out similar projects across the country. In Lagos, Ruth Ario Samuel, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Remember, you can also follow this news live on our Twitter handle at NTA News Now, Facebook NTA Network News, and on our YouTube page NTA Live. Nationwide continues with Obey shortly in Benin after this break.
To have you join us on NTA Benin Network Center. Ekiti State Police Command has paraded 98 suspected political thugs arrested in the state. Ekiti Command Police Relations Officer ASP Sunday Abufu said officers of the Nigerian Army arrested the suspects at a border town in the state. Kehinde Drudola reports.
The 98 armed suspected thugs were arrested by the military officers at Itaure in Evon Access checkpoint. In 18 passengers buses, they were boarded and they were handed over to the police. The police spokesperson explained that guns, charms and other dangerous weapons were recovered from the suspects. He said investigations into their sponsors are still ongoing, while the suspect will be charged to court for prosecution after investigations.
We're actually coming to Ekiti State, and you know, that day was the eve of the People Democratic Party's primaries in the state. So the soldiers suspected them and they accosted them and were arrested. And we are charging them to court. They are going to court right away.
The PPRO assured the public of the command's resolution to ensure adequate security ahead of the forthcoming governorship election in the state. From Ado Ekiti, Kende Drodola, NTA News.
There is hope in sight to end the crisis rocking Ikare Akoko in Ondo State. The committee set up to look into the crisis submitted its report to Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. Abiola Ariyo reports.
There has been unrest among the Muslim community in Ikare Akoko over the removal of various standing committees by the chief imam for their alleged financial recklessness and tenure expiration. Submitting the report to the governor, the chairman of the committee informed that in a bid to ensure peaceful and amicable resolution of the crisis, several meetings and consultations with relevant stakeholders were done to acquaint members with the remote and the immediate causes of the crisis.
That the dissolved committees should be allowed to complete its term, and during the period, it should ensure there is openness, transparency and accountability in the management of the affairs of the mosque. That the chairman of the Muslim Council should write to apologize to the chief imam for being insolent in his letter and utterances to the chief imam.
Thank you. The recommendation is very, very comprehensive, and I think sort of saying we have accepted it, we'll look at it again because there's nothing we can add.
Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu appreciated the committee for doing a thorough job, promising to ensure full implementation of the report. In Akure, Abiola Ariyo, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues with Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you, Obehi. Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello has described as unfortunate and regrettable the recent attack by gunmen on Galadi Mankogo and other villages in Shiroro local government area of the state. Terrorists numbering over 100 reportedly invaded the community in broad daylight, killing about 11 Joint Security Task Force members, several villagers, and leaving many injured, while scores of the gunmen were also said to have been neutralized. In a statement issued by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Mary Noel Berger, the Governor condemned the attack on the community, stressing that it would have been unsuccessful if villagers from Galape and Kudodo in Alawa community had not alerted the security agencies when they noticed movements of the terrorists towards the town. Governor Sani Bello urged the villagers in the affected communities to endeavor to provide credible information to the Joint Security Task Force stationed in the area, adding that security agencies cannot perform effectively and efficiently without getting appropriate support and intelligence report from the people. The governor sued for calm and urged the fleeing communities in Galadiman Kogo and Kuchi in Shiroro and Munya local government areas to await swift and immediate response from the Joint Security Task Force, stressing that their earlier withdrawal was tactical in order to re-strategize. Governor Sani Bello said the state government has already secured the order and clearance of President Buhari to carry out intensive military operations in Shiroro, Munya and Rafi local government axes, assuring that ground and air strikes would continue to comb the areas so as to flush out the miscreants. The governor prayed for the reposed souls of the Joint Security Task Force members and villagers who lost their lives during the attack on Galadi-Kogo and directed the State Emergency Management Agency to urgently provide succor to the injured and displaced. The Nigerian Army has reiterated its commitment to protecting the national integrity of the country as it is combat ready to end terrorism and other criminal activities in the country. This reassurance came from the Commander, Training and Doctrine Command, Nigerian Army Major General Stevenson Olubenga Olabanji during the West African Social Activities WASA 2021 held at the Mina Cantonment. Fatima Usman reports.
African Social Activities WASA is an age-long tradition of the Nigerian Army celebrated in recognition of its contribution and successes in the course of defending the nation through various operations. It is an event which also provides avenue where the diverse ethnic groups in the barracks showcase their rich cultural heritage. Officers and men on days like this adorn their respective native attires in a show of respect and pride for their culture, unless, of course, for some others who have to be in their khakis for obvious reasons. Mina Cantonment was not left out of this, as its officers and men, including their family members, trooped out in large numbers to celebrate. The event was not without some fun, as tug of war also featured involving soldiers from different army formations in the cantonment, their wives and corps members serving in the barracks. We need to move to the partner side. Ladies and gentlemen, Commander, Training and Doctrine Command, Nigerian Army, Major General Stevenson Olubenga Olabanji was represented at the event.
This therefore call for all officers and soldiers to be more committed than ever so that we can achieve the overall objective of bringing this menace across the nation to a favorable end.
Some soldiers who distinguished themselves in the course of their duties were also acknowledged and recognized through their outstanding performances. In Mina, I am Fatima Usman, NTA News.
The National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party has pledged to be fully involved in the campaign and reconciliation processes that would lead the party to victory in the Ekiti State governorship election slated for June this year. This was part of the party's governorship appeal panel's meeting in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
PDP National Chairman Yocha Ayu is chairman of the 25-member Ekiti State Governorship Appeal Panel.
Anybody that does otherwise will be considered as working against the PDP, so it will be regarded as anti-party.
Briefing the media after the panel's inaugural meeting in Abuja, the party spokesperson Debo Ologoagba said the winner of the party's governorship ticket, BC Kolawole, has started reaching out to other contenders in that election, and the party will soon commence its reconciliation process to ensure that all are in one accord going into the main election.
Now, the committee and the National Working Committee appeal to all stakeholders, especially those who participated in the primary election, leaders and the teaming members of the PDP in Ekiti State to come together.
The appeal committee commended the governorship primary committee led by Governor Udomo Emmanuel of Akwa Ibom State for conducting a free, fair, transparent and credible primary election. On the 2023 general election, the National Publicity Secretary disclosed that PDP is the party to beat and enjoined members of the party cutting across every divide to unite towards the attainment of the party's victory at the polls. Timothy Yusuf.
You can catch us live on our website nta.ng/live and on YouTube channel NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page NTA Network News on Twitter at NTA News Now and Instagram NTA Network. Let's head to Makurdi as we join Fatima.
Welcome to Makurdi. All Progressive Congress APC women across Benue State under the aegis of Amazon Prime have staged a walk around some streets in Makurdi, calling members and stakeholders of the All Progressive Congress APC to elect Senator George Akume as the party's national chairman in the forthcoming national convention. The women made the appeal in a solidarity rally tagged 1,000 Women Walk to support George Akume for APC chairman. Elias Sitiav brings us the details.
The 1,000 Women Walk rally, organized by the Benue Amazon Prime, is to add their voice in support of the Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Senator George Akume, for his election as the national chairman of the All Progressives Party, whose national convention is slated for February 26th. According to the group, Senator Akume remains the best candidate for the party's national chairman owing to his antecedents, as he would bring his wealth of experience in piloting the affairs of the APC.
Benue women, APC women, and even other parties, that in one voice, we are calling on our President Muhammadu Buhari, that if he wants Benue State turned into one party system, he should give it to Akume. Akume is a man of peace. A man is the firstborn of Benue politics in North Central.
He's a bridge builder. He's the only person who can put Nigeria in one basket. Amen. And that is why we are saying, Mr. President, give us your support.
Wife of the aspirant, Mrs. Regina Akume, said, as a man of peace and a go-getter, Senator George Akume possesses the requisite party experience for the job.
Make Senator Dr. George Akume the national chairman of APC. Women with one voice.
The Solidarity Rally, which went round some major roads of Makurdi, the Benue State capital, drew women from the 23 local government areas of the state. In Makurdi, Elias Etiaf, NTA News.
The wife of Totif, Professor Felicia Ayatse, has called on both private and corporate bodies to assist the internally displaced persons with material and educational needs. Professor Felicia stated this at the inauguration of a block of 3 classrooms donated to the Daudu IDP camp, Guma local government area of Benue State. Godwin Inalago reports that the project is in partnership with a non-governmental organization.
Education, they say, is key to success. If these displaced children, who are leaders of tomorrow, are deprived of their education, it means they have no successful future. This spurred the wife of Totif, Professor Felicia Ayatse, to provide a block of classrooms, as well as educational materials to enhance teaching and learning. The project, she said, began over 4 years ago when crises involving herdsmen and farmers displaced many indigents from their ancestral homes to settle in deplorable shelters.
We look forward to many more projects geared towards securing the future of these people.
Representative of Religious Freedom Coalition, William Murray, says his charity organization is happy to meet the educational need, especially of children who have no means of livelihood as a result of crisis.
To fulfill charity is to obey the law of Christ. And it is our duty to be here. It is our duty to help and to assist and to assure the future of every single child in this.
That's it from Makurdi. Nationwide continues in Ibadan with Kemi after this break.
Hello and a warm welcome to Ibadan. In a bid to ascertain the ease of the new e-passport collection process in the southwest, the Nigerian Immigration Service is on a monitoring exercise. To this end, a team of senior officers of the service were at the Ibadan office for a first-hand experience of the application process. Larry Bilay has details.
The Minister of Interior, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, recently, the Nigerian immigration has started the utilization of the facilities for passport applicants. These involving applying online for travel documents to cut out touts, bottlenecks, and makes the application process faster. Then there is the issue of backlog of applicants who had applied before the launch of the enhanced e-passport facility.
That is why I'm here with about 30,000 booklets to come and clear the backlog. Before now, people go to the passport office, sit down 1 or 2 days, they don't know when they'll get enrolled or captured, but now they have all been coming, especially with the introduction of the online payment and appointment system.
The Immigration Service urged Nigerians to come on board the new system geared towards improved service delivery.
It was very easy for me to use, and I preferred it than coming here myself because I could just log in on my phone, register, and pick an appointment date.
The monitoring exercise is ongoing at all service centers across the nation. In Ibadan, Larry Bilayi, NT News.
Nigerians have been charged to always recommend people of good character for recruitment into the Nigeria Police. Chairman Police Service Commission Musiliu Smith gave the charge at a one-day stakeholders meeting on police recruitment held in Ibadan. Correspondent Rafia Animashan Badmos has the details.
Stakeholders in policing, religious groups, traditional rulers, and social groups across Oyo and Osun states converged on Ibadan, where Police Service Commission discussed issues that affect citizens-police relationships. Chairman Police Service Commission noted that the Recruitment Sensitization Forum was created to enlighten people on the need to always recommend citizens of good character.
Applicants are not even well prepared, so that the majority of them, they even fail all the exams. That's why we say we should go around and let even the recruitment authorities in the states.
Speakers acknowledged that there is need for continuous training and retraining of police officers to improve the professional conduct of officers.
To improve the policing system, the policing structure or strategy of Nigeria.
Chairman Police Service Commission, however, charged Nigerians to always approach the Commission in the area of protecting the interests of the public and promoting the professionalism in Ibadan. Wofia Animashan Badmos, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Nationwide continues in Abuja. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Kemi. Officers of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Abia State Command have intensified the war against illegal oil bunkering through crackdown of operations in Owaza, Okeohia Forest of Uku West local government area of Abia State. State Commandant Agbola Ayila says the recent operation, which lasted 7 hours, has disrupted the major supply chain of pipeline vandals and bunkers in the state. Steve Lona Iwankulu reports.
Successful operation codenamed Sting. Commandant of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps in Abia State, Anila Olowo, said the idea behind the operation is to put both the sellers and buyers of the stolen petroleum products out of business, and this his men have successfully achieved by destroying more than 10 processing lines, as well as blocking the source through which the fleeing operators siphoned petroleum products.
This operation was far-reaching, as we discovered a lot of illegal modular refineries. In fact, the level is just too high. And to God be the glory, we are able to destroy so many of these illegal modular refineries in the local government. It took me 4 months with my intelligence unit to gather intelligence on the activities of this funder. Having gathered enough intelligence, we now went on operation, which we could name OPS Sting.
Commandant Olowo, who lauded the gallantry and professionalism exhibited by his men before, during and after the Operation Sting, enjoined the youths in the area to engage themselves in legitimate means of livelihood and shun acts capable of jeopardizing their future. In Umuahia, Steve Lonai Nwaokolo, NTA News.
The recent video making the rounds on social media of a 29-year-old who stabbed his mother severely in Owerri for alleged money ritual has continued to generate reactions from Nigerians. What is most intriguing, however, is a twist in the online story as narrated by a family member. Let's now join Lorita Rinze Egwim as she brings us the update.
Many people they talk to. He failed his mission. That is what happened to him.
Nigerians were stunned when the video of a young man said to have stabbed his mother in an attempt to allegedly use her for money ritual hit the social media.
I thank you, Lord Jesus, for rescuing me. I thank you, Super Rebel, for rescuing me.
In search of the facts of the matter, which has continued to elicit reactions from Nigerians, NTA News visited the scene of the incident. This is the exact room where it all happened. Although the broken windows through which the suspect was said to have attempted to throw his mother has been replaced, the bloodstains, now dried up, are still there. The smart television set and the fruits alleged to have been brought by the mother are still littered on the floor. This flower pot and red cap, according to the family members, were portrayed on the social media as alleged objects for rituals. While social media account holds that the attack was that of a son attempting to use his mother for money ritual, a relation of the victim says the incident was grossly misrepresented.
Mr. Jachuku Mbachu is a God-fearing man, very decent guy, very quiet guy, and lovable. It's just a spiritual manipulation. This is not a ritual case. I must tell you the truth, and I can, swear with my life. If it's rituals, the guy wouldn't have stabbed himself and also stabbed the mom, because he was stabbing himself more than 8 times. Stabbed the mom the same number of times.
The suspect, 29-year-old Jachuku Mbachu, is a graduate of medical lab science from the Imo State University awaiting internship. His mother and victim of the incident, Edith Mbachu, is a pharmacist at the Federal Polytechnic Nekede Owerri. An attempt to reach her for her own side of the story proved abortive as she was still in hospital receiving treatment. While the accounts of the family and information trending on the social media vary, we sought to reach out to the Imo State Police Command for further clarifications.
So the victim happens to be, according to the family, that he is mentally retarded, and that was what actually happened. That he stays alone. The mother bought some fruit and took the fruit to him. Unfortunately, he went wild and attacked the mother. I'm telling you what exactly happened. That's social media, they can say anything, but we, the police, supposed to be contacted.
All right, let's take you back to the report we called earlier of the National Assembly stands on oversight in the 2022 fiscal year, saying it will be rigid on revenue generation by ministries, departments and agencies. Ignatius Onkwa will give us the details now.
The last 2 weeks has been a period of engagement between the leadership of the Senate and various institutions of government. This time, it was an enlarged meeting with revenue-generating agencies. It was interactive but purposeful, basically to harp on the dire need for increased revenue generation so as to reduce budget deficit and borrowing going forward.
Our government-owned enterprises can generate, in fact, I think, up to 3 trillion. If we remain with that mindset, that we can achieve that. We need to come up with various forms of initiatives to broaden your sources of revenue and block as much as possible the perceived leakages.
The Fiscal Responsibility Commission and the Senate stressed on the need for all agencies that are fully funded by government to ensure remittance of 100% of its revenue and 1% of total contract value to the federal government, and those that have capacity to be self-funded to exit from the budget.
The earlier the Fiscal Responsibility Act is amended completely, that will give more fillip to the efforts of this parliament to earn more revenue, sir.
Any agencies that are partly funded by the federal government is to the extent that the federal government will pay their personnel and give them some subvention in the area of capital. Are expected to pay 80% of whatever they accrue to them as operational surplus into the coffers of the government.
The Nigeria Customs Service observed that there are areas in the Finance Act 2021 that needs amendment, while the Nigeria Immigration Service sought the assistance of the Senate in terminating the outsourcing of its revenue collection, which deprives Nigeria huge sums of money.
This act is confusing, and if stakeholders decide to take leverage of this, they can decide to say, we are not supposed to collect duties and levies.
We achieved a collection of 6.4 trillion naira in 2021. We are going to leverage on all the strategies adopted.
Senate believes forensic audit of ministries, departments and agencies of government will provide a better picture of their revenue status. Meanwhile, the Senate Committee on Federal Character has screened Professor Ayo Omotayo for appointment as Director General of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
The Egyptian pyramids are ancient masonry structures. They remain the world's oldest monumental structures, and more so, its linkage with religion. So the pyramids of Egypt and the pharaohs have a powerful connect that it invokes some mystical attraction. In this report, Anthony Forson, who was on the Minister of Information and Culture's entourage, shares his experience of the pharaohs' pyramids in Egypt.
The Great Pyramid of Giza is a huge pyramid built by the ancient Egyptians. It is the oldest of the 7 wonders of the ancient world and the only one to remain mostly intact. When it was built, it was 146.5 meters and 481 feet tall. It remains the tallest building in the world for over 3,800 years. However, visiting the Great Pyramids of Egypt is no small feat. When Lai Mohammed, in company of members of his entourage to Cairo, arrived to Giza to view the ancient pyramids, it was a rare opportunity. With its status now a tourist destination, these solid masses of stones have a passage which leads to the small subterranean burial chambers underneath. Between 2560 and 1311 AD, the Giza pyramid holds a record of man's tallest building, which can't be broken. The shape of the pyramids may have been designed to evoke the rays of the sun streaming between heaven. Lai Mohammed and his delegation from Giza proceeded to the Egyptian Museum, where they were conducted around each and every one of the exhibits that has its own fascinating story. But the sheer number of items contained in the Egyptian Museum means it is necessary to be selective during a visit, with a major highlight as the famous pharaoh.
What the Egyptians today are enjoying, 5,000 years ago, some people built this pyramid, labored for their country, for their king, to put this magnificent edifice. It's been a learning experience for us, for me in particular. We have got to protect our heritage. The Egyptians are protecting their heritage. This is an Egyptian heritage. It is protected, and it brings a lot of pride to Egypt. In addition to the pride that it brings to Egypt, it brings a lot of resources to Egypt.
That you can keep history for the future and see how they are making a lot of money, how they, people come to see their history. So, the lesson I learned is we should go back home, and I'm happy that our minister is around, is with us here. Let's go back home and see what we can put together to make people come to our country to tell our coming generation, and the present generation and the coming generation our history.
We have historical places that I think we need to make sure that we utilize them in the best way possible. These are money spinners. If we use them very well, Nigeria stands to get a lot of money from them.
Let's come back home. Calabar, the capital of Cross River State, is considered as the first unofficial capital city of Nigeria in the 19th century and regarded as the tourism hub of the country. Since the creation of the state, the ancient city was connected by just one single lane road, which most times becomes a nightmare to road users in and out of the city. That scenario is fast changing with the intervention of the state government to dualize the road, thus bringing succor to motorists and commuters. Let's hear more details from Paul Abel.
The 16-kilometer Calabar-Dukpane dual carriageway, though a federal government road, it is being executed by the Cross River State government through a direct labor engagement with a consortium of construction companies to mitigate the plight drivers and other road users encounter while coming into and going out of Calabar. The asphalt with thickness of 5 centimeters to be completed by the end of February 2022 to transform the socio-economic life of people in the state.
The main idea of embarking on this dual carriage road from metropolitan Calabar City to exit through the Odopani flyover arises from the huge challenge we had with the Odopani junction, where commuters spend 3, 4, 5 days on the road struggling to drive out.
The design and the execution of this project is like bringing Calabar City Center and Odopani together.
There is no other way of taking the economy in and out of Calabar. Social way of we are a tourist state.
NTA News also interacted with some road users on the significance of the road dualization.
The road is free now. I think business will move and the development and economic of the state.
When the road is completed, it will be very easy to access Calabar.
I'm very much appreciate my excellency because of the road.
With the good intention of the state government, the people are hopeful that the road will be durable and work will be completed as promised. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
Being a federal higher institution in the nation's capital, University of Abuja is leveraging on that privilege to stand out in quality and standard for other universities to emulate. Vice-Chancellor, University of Abuja, Professor Abdulrashid Na'Allah, gave the commitment at a clinic on quality and standard put together by the Department of Political Science and International Relations of the university. As a seat of government, Abuja has a lot of political governance and activities taking place. Therefore, the Department of Political Science will make its impact felt.
You as a department must make a major shift from the past. How do you teach in a political department and you're not bringing politicians, you're not bringing people who are making decisions, policy, to come into the classroom and interact with students? How do you do it? And you're in Abuja. That cannot fulfill the potentials of this university.
How do we create additional value to our programs, to our university, to our faculties, to our department, so that to actually maintain international standard? What is obtainable outside Africa, let us also have the benefit of that particular standard.
This will definitely enhance the quality of delivery in this department. It will help to also build the political ideology of this country.
It's organized for postgraduate students of the university. That's nationwide. Thank you very much for your company. Remember, together we can win the fight against rape and rapists. I'm Ruth Aguele. Have a good evening.